yesterday, T. No tailgating for 2020. They're still yet to ruling on alcohol in the stadium. There has not been a protocol or a standard put out on how they're going to decide that 25,000. But the plan is starting to form up and really starting to take shape.
Yeah, and the 25% in the stadium's actually, like I said, a bit of a higher number than I expected. 25,000, there could be a little juice there. That's going to be, because look, what I've been thinking a lot about lately is something that I heard Stan Van Gundy talking about on Le Batard's show, where he describes how normally when you're walking into a building for a playoff game in the NBA, the electricity is so palpable you can cut it with a knife. Right, or all of these other things. Like, you can just feel it. It just gets your energy going even if you're asleep walking in. He said that arena in the bubble is the complete opposite. Now, interestingly, I don't know if that's translated on the fan side, right? I feel like watching the games in the bubble's actually been pretty great, and the fake crowd noise is pretty solid, and the quality of the games, I mean, look at last night. It's been fantastic. So it's not as much from a consumer standpoint, but I've been thinking about it more from the athlete standpoint, the team standpoint. He said that arena walking in, even now, is deader than like the summer league arena games where you got scouts and you got young players trying to kind of assert their NBA futures, right? And so then you carry that over to college football, and it becomes an advantage. Which coach can manufacture that energy? Like, which coach can get their team as pumped up and locked in and as motivated as they would be if it was a completely full Tiger Stadium. Now, I thought there would probably be less people than this, so every little bit helps. And if you're Coach Ed Ogeron, who is a master motivator, master energy creator, this does make it a little bit easier, because I don't care who you are, playing in front of 25,000 people, well, it's not 100,000. It's still a ton more than zero, and it's still pressure, and it still allows you to ratchet things up a notch. So I think this is very good news for the team itself, even if it won't have too much of an impact for us watching on television.
How about no tailgating?
I don't know. I would pose that question to the room. I figure y'all have done more tailgating than I have. I've only had 1 year of actual tailgating in my life, and it was when I switched from New Orleans to here and had that non-compete to where I couldn't be on air for a year, and it was incredible. I mean, I don't think I actually went to a single game. I spent every day just getting hammered and then like Ubering home and watching the games on television or watching them on the TV at campus. So it was a ton of fun. But like, I don't know. What about y'all? What's y'all's history with tailgating?
The glory days of my tailgating are over. I had a hell of a run and loved every minute of it. But I don't get into tailgating like I once did. I would have no problem with this rule if I was a season ticket holder and went to every game. I understand how this affects a ton of people. I mean, a lot of people's social calendar is built around tailgating for LSU football in the fall. A lot of people put a lot of time and resources into building a tailgate for just kind of 8 Saturdays in the fall.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's the best. And to see that not available is definitely going to change the experience of LSU football. From my personal feeling, I've got no problem walking up and going straight into the game anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To go there pregame and tailgate would be for my son's experience and just allowing him to get around and see the game day deal, you know?
Well, I saw Kat Terrell and somebody else talking about this online. I can't remember exactly who it was. But either way, she was just laying how to her tailgating has always served a lot of the same function as Mardi Gras did, where you get to hang out with people that maybe you haven't seen in years, exactly. Right? And you catch back up immediately. You will also meet new people constantly, and you will immediately feel as if you're fast friends. You can walk up to strangers. You have common touchstones to start conversations about the game, about the Tigers, about the food, about like the drinks. Can I have a drink? Yes, you can. And now everybody's happy. Everybody's together. I've seen some setups where they got full bars, and I've seen some setups where it's like nothing more than just an ice chest, right? But either way, at the core, they are the same. It is all about, and to me, the biggest loss here, the partying is super fun. Make no mistake about it. And just people watching and everything else on Saturdays is awesome. It's great. But at its core, the biggest loss is the loss of community, because that is what tailgating is all about. It's about bringing back that community for a singular goal on these Saturdays in the fall. I've always described these big game days as having like a medieval tournament type of feel, where you can just, the landscape changes for a day. Tents get erected, flags are waving, you have each faction wearing their own colors, there's exotic smells and sounds through the air. One side is singing their songs, the other side singing their songs. I mean, to me, it's the single most attractive part about college football, and the separating factor is the pageantry. And unfortunately, that will not happen this year. But, hey, man, it is what it is, like we've talked about, okay? It's all the old cliches about no crying over spilled milk, yada, 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 whatever you want to throw out there. It just sucks, but we just all have to get over it, deal with it. And I'm sure tailgating will be back bigger and badder than ever next season.
Biggest demographic affected is probably you two behind the board. The young 20-something single out there that's looking for a little social event on a Saturday to go meet new people. Danny, Musso, how do you guys react to the news of no tailgating?
Well, I'm normally here on game days now, so I mean it's not as big of. I mean I get normally one game a year now where I'll go tailgate. I did do 2 last year because I went to Austin, but if I was still in college, it'd be crushing.
Crushing.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, everything about this year sucks for
Danny,
college
what's your
kids.
responsibility on Saturdays? Do you have to work?
Yeah, I'll be here some Saturdays, but yeah, back then I used to be at the rugby tailgate every Saturday.
Oh man, rugby tailgate probably gets rowdy AF, dude.
Yeah.
Does it get wild?
Yeah, the jungle
Absolutely
juice
it
goes
does.
flowing.
Yeah. How do you make jungle juice? We used.
I didn't make it.
Oh,
I don't
you never
know.
made it? Okay. We
Everclear?
used to make
a
we
lot
used
of
to make quite a
alcohol.
bit of it. It would be a handle of Everclear, a handle of vodka, throw a bunch of frozen fruit in there, Hawaiian punch, and then Sprite. Sprite was always the key to kind of
Lemons? I always
cutting
thought
the
that
burn a
lemons
little bit.
was good for the visual. You know, the floating
no,
lemons
we didn't
over
do
the-
we didn't do floating lemons. But the frozen fruit by day's end, you want to eat some of that. It's soaked up quite a potent punch. But yeah, unfortunately, look, no jungle juice. I wonder how people are going to fill the void. Do they switch the parties at home? Like, do you start
Yes.
having people to
I
your
think
house?
that's exactly what's going to happen. I know
Absolutely.
that's what a lot of
The
my
parties
friends are
will
doing.
still happen.
Oh,
The parties
absolutely.
will still happen. I wonder how many people are going to try to get as close as possible to campus and throw some type of party. Like, where is the cutoff of tailgating, and see if somebody can't pull up a tractor trailer or some type of truck trailer to right there and get the barbecue pit and the TV going just to kind of be close to the experience. We'll ask
I wonder
Scott
how they'll
Woodward.
enforce it.
We'll ask Scott Woodward how they're enforced
yeah.
that. Next, here on Off the Bench, if you have a question for the LSU athletic director, we're using the hashtag AskWoody, as Scott Woodward will be here next on Off the Bench.